What's up, y'all? I am making this video today because I posted a video on my TikTok about me joining the Air Force and how I got sworn in on February 2nd. This is the video. This video right here. I've had like a lot of questions about like my process being a single parent. Most of the comments was like, can you give advice on how you study for the ASVAB? Or can you give like steps on the whole process being a single parent? Do you have any tips? I'm trying to join the Air Force. Do you know what your job will be out of BMT? You find out what your job is before BMT. And then people were asking me like, why did it take so long? Because my process was from August to, technically I'm still going through it, it's February, so. Okay, I'm just gonna tell y'all like my process. I don't know if different recruiters do their things in different ways, different orders, I don't know, but I'm just going to personally speak on my process and stuff that I went through with my recruiter and you know, stuff like that. So first things first, August 2023, I went to a recruiter's office in Houston, Texas, and I think they base it off your zip code on which office you assigned to, I think. But so I went to the office and I was talking to my recruiter, and the first thing he had me do was fill out this sheet asking all these questions about, you know, my name, my age, if I have kids, any tattoos, you know, stuff like that. So he looked at my tattoos and he already knew off back, like, you're going to have to get a tattoo waiver. Oh, you're a single parent. You got to do a dependent waiver, a single parent waiver, all of this stuff. So I'm like, okay. So, but first things first, he was like, you need to study for your ASVAB. I'm going to have you come and take a practice test in a couple weeks. And I need you to get a certain amount correct before I feel comfortable sending you to MEPS to go take your ASVAB. I'm like, okay. So I studied for like a month because I took my ASVAB at the end of September. And I got the ASVAB for dummies. I'll put the link in the video below the video. But I did the ASVAB for dummies. I got it off Amazon. And I just really did a bunch of practice problems out the book. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of TikTok videos. And I just practiced as much as I could. And I studied at least like 4 days out the week for like an hour. I didn't want to overdo it and stress myself out because I was already stressed and I was already nervous because I'm like, yo, I haven't been in high school and God knows how long. I must be 30 years old. So I studied for a month, and then I went to go take my practice test with my recruiter, and he was like, okay, you did good, so I feel comfortable sending you. So I'm like, okay, oh my gosh. So he signed me up to go take my ASVAB, and I went and took it at the end of September. It's a 3-hour test. I forgot how many questions on there. You got to Google that. But it's like 100 and something questions. And y'all, oh my God. My personal opinion, that shit was hard. It was hard to me. Like, maybe not to all the younger people who's coming straight out of high school, but to me, I was in that bitch stressing, like, oh my God. But the key is to just really take your time and like read through it carefully, because they will try to confuse you. Like, it's certain keywords they'll try to confuse you, and just like really take your time. Use the whole 3 hours, like no bullshit. For the Air Force, I believe you need a 31, and I passed my ASVAB with a 56. So I have like a lot of options to choose from, like as far as jobs. Actually, let me see what each score was. It's this app for the Air Force. It's called the Aim High. The Aim High app. So in my categories, let's see, I got my ASVAB scores. I got a 33 in mechanical. That's not my area, so I didn't do so good in that. A 51 in general. That's not bad. Admin, I got a 63, which is what I want to do. That's what I want my job to be. I want to do admin or personnel, like the HR area-ish. And then electrical, I got a 58. Nah, you know, whatever. So those are my scores. So after I studied and I went to take my ASVAB and I passed, I went back to my recruiter and he like, okay, let's get these waivers completed and let's get them submitted. And I had to get a waiver for my tattoos, because I have a tattoo right here and right here on my hands. And I had to get a waiver for me being a single parent. The other waiver that I had to get was my debt to income ratio. Make sure, y'all, because I didn't know this, I'm telling y'all now, make sure your finances are in order, okay? Like, my debt to income ratio was too high because of my student loan, so I had to get a waiver for that. I think the DTI got to be like under 40%, but my student loans made it at like 70, something crazy, y'all. Make sure you don't got nothing past due. Make sure you ain't got nothing in collections. Make sure you ain't behind. Like, all that got to be cleared before you could, get in. And I had to get a waiver for that too, because I am a single parent and they want to make sure your finances are in order for your kids. Like, they don't want you to join and you got all these financial issues. They look at you as a liability, I guess. So I had to get a waiver for my debt to income ratio due to my student loans. But I also had to pay some stuff off too. So you want to make sure everything is paid up. Like I said, no collections, nothing behind. Make sure y'all take care of that. Like, that's very important. And then also for my my single parent waiver, I went to court with my youngest child father, so I had to show them like our custody agreement. Basically, they're going to ask for that. Like, if the father of your child is on child support, or like if y'all go to court for anything for custody, they're going to ask for the custody agreement for the parents or whatever as well. So that's another thing I have to go through and attach to my waiver for me being a single parent. So tattoo waiver, single parent waiver, my finance waiver because of my debt to income ratio. Make sure that shit is in order, please, because I had to learn the hard way. And for my waiver for being a single parent, I just basically had to write a statement of why I wanted to join the Air Force, who's going to take care of my kids when I'm away, and like what's the plan. You guys just have like a solid family plan. Like, they don't play about your kids. Like, they want your kids to be well taken care of. I did not have to give up custody for my kids, just strictly a family plan, or who's going to take care of your kids while you're away at BMT and for tech school. So my mom is going to take care of them while I'm gone. So my mom had to write a statement. I had to write a statement. And then their dads, my kids have two different dads. Their dads had to make a statement, write a statement basically agreeing that they're okay with my mom taking care of my kids while I'm gone. Only because my kids' dad live in different states. I'm in Texas. My oldest daughter dad lives in Atlanta. And then my youngest daughter dad lives back at home in Michigan. So that's why they had to write a statement. So after that, my waivers, my recruiter had to, look at it. And then he had to send it to his supervisor. And then his supervisor had to approve it and send it to the operations squadron, that's what it's called. And then from there, I had to go to the commander. And then the commander had to approve all my waivers. So it was just so much back and forth. I was going through so much BS that was just popping up left and right. Like, for example, they have to look at your medical history. And they're like, we need your medical records from this hospital. And I'm like, I have never been to this hospital. I've never had surgery. Because they're like, oh, you had surgery. I'm like, no, I didn't. Y'all, I had to drive like an hour to Galveston to go to this hospital that I've never been to. Y'all, I get there. Tell me why they had somebody else's medical records on my medical records. I don't know how it happened. It was some girl on my medical records saying I had surgery. So that took like a whole 3 weeks. A whole 3-week process. Just... y'all, I'm not making this up. So then they had to remove her records off of my records. Like, big ass violation. Like, how did that happen? So after my waivers was submitted and me going through all hell and back. Now, by the way, my waivers didn't really take the longest. It just sucked because every time I needed a waiver approved, it always fell on a goddamn holiday. Like, oh my God. But the turnaround time wasn't bad. I would say it took like less than a week for my waivers to get like looked at and approved. I know some minutes say it take like 30 days. Like mine didn't take that long. Like, especially like my medical, once you got to get approved to go to MEPS, like my medical took like a couple days. My single parent waiver, it took like, I don't know, maybe a week to go to each person to get approved. So from my recruiter to his supervisor to the operations squadron, I think that's what it was called, and then from them to the commander, I had to go through 4 steps to get approved. Like, and that's for all my waivers. So that's that. So after my waivers got approved, I finally was able to get approved to go to MEPS to do my medical, my physical, all that stuff. So after my waivers got approved, I went to MEPS like a week later. And if y'all watch videos on how MEPS is, it's not that bad. Like, I was so nervous because all the videos I was watching, it was just like trying to scare me. Like, I'm like, it was not that bad. Like, they do your hearing, your vision. They check everything. If you're a female and a guy, they check everything. What else did they do? You gotta do a urine test. So, no drinking, no smoking, all of that. No drugs, y'all. Just don't do it, okay? And I was at MEPS probably for like a good 7, 8 hours. So like a full work day basically. And after that, you get sworn in. Now, I had to get sworn in under conditional DEP because I had needed another waiver from my physical with the health issue, which I didn't know I had to do. So, like I said, they look at your medical history from the time you was born to present. So don't lie about nothing. Like, just don't lie about nothing. But for my medical, it was something dumb. So I had to do conditional DEP, which you got to wait for that waiver to get approved, and then you can move on like normal. So you were able to choose your job. Well, not choose it. They'll give you your job, and then you'll know when you leave for basic training. So I don't know when I leave yet, and I sworn in on February 2nd. It is now February 20th because I have to wait for my prescription. I had to pull my prescription history. So I'm waiting on that to come in the mail, which takes 7 to 10 days, which is why I had to go and get sworn in under conditional DEP, which is going to be fine. Like, I'm not even worried. Like, I'm going to be able to move forward. So that's my process. As far as questions about being a single parent, just make sure that, like I said, your family plan is solid. And make sure you have who's going to take care of your kids while you're gone for basic training and for tech school. Like I said, my mom is watching my kids and she had to write a statement. And also, what really helped me too is I was just on top of things. Like, my recruiter and his supervisor knew I wanted this so bad because anything they asked for, I gave it to them the day of. Like, oh, we need you to write a statement for this, bet. Doing it right now, send it to them. Oh, you need a statement for this, bet. Need it. Like, you need a waiver for this, a waiver for that, like, bet. All right, here you go. Like, I turned stuff in the same day. I didn't wait like a week or a week and a half. Like, okay, I get it to y'all tomorrow. No, I turned it in to my recruiter ASAP, and it was like, we love how, like, on top of things you were. Like, you quick, like, and it was like, we can tell you want this so bad, and we're going to really work hard for you and push all your waivers through because we see how serious you are. So if you're going to do it, like, be serious and don't be fucking around, like, because they going to look at that, like, I want this. Like, anything y'all need from me, I'm going to do it, like, right away. So that plays a part as well. And as far as my job or my MOS, I guess, I really, really want to do admin or personnel just because that's what I like to do. But I know that you can't just strictly choose your job, I think, because my recruiter, they say you could put 5 jobs that you want, and then they're going to show you a list of jobs that's needed, like, ASAP. So they make you choose 5 off of the jobs that are needed ASAP, and then you have to put 5 jobs that you want. So 10 total, and then I guess they choose which one they're going to give to you, and then that determines on when you leave for basic training or whatever. So I don't know my job yet. I should know in a couple weeks though, and when I leave. Overall, like, don't be nervous. I know not even just single moms, single dads, all the single parents. Like, don't be nervous. I know people are scared to be away from their kids, but just think of it as you're making temporary sacrifices for a better future. Like, that's how I look at it. Of course, I'm gonna miss my kids dearly, but I know they're in good hands with my mom, and I know that they're going to be okay, and I know I'm going to miss them. They're going to miss me, but I'm doing this for them and like their future and our future. Like, just think of that. Like, stop thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to miss them. Oh my God, like, girl, boy, suck it up. You're going to be okay. Like, this is for the better. Like, for the better. So that's my process from August to now. It was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of waivers, a lot of statements, a lot of family planning, and, you know, just stick it through and don't give up, because at times I did get discouraged, like, oh my God, my waiver's not going to get approved. But my recruiter, like, shout out to my recruiter and his supervisor, like, they really worked hard and pushed my stuff through and made sure that I was going to be okay, and the commander approved it. So that's all that matter, y'all. So if you have any questions, you could comment below. I'll respond, or inbox me on TikTok or Instagram, whatever. Isis the mom _ on Instagram, and then it's just Isis the mom on TikTok. But I'm going to put the link to the ASVAB for Dummies book below, so y'all could click on that link, or just go on Amazon and type in ASVAB for Dummies and watch hella YouTube videos. Like, don't be nervous, just do it. Like, dedicate and put your time in. Y'all got this. Peace.